You've probably seen headlines like these. The House just passed a bill. The House approved legislation. Congress is changing the law. But here's the question. Almost nobody answers. If the House passed a bill, why isn't it law yet? It's one of the biggest misconceptions about how Congress works. Today, we're breaking down exactly what House passage means, what usually has to happen next, and why one vote in the House is often just the beginning of the legislative process. If you've ever thought that a House vote immediately changes federal law, you're definitely not alone. Headlines often stop at the House passed it, leaving out several important constitutional steps that usually still have to happen. Understanding those missing steps helps you better evaluate what Congress has actually done and what still hasn't happened. So let's start with the most important rule. When the House passes a bill, the House has approved it. That does not usually make it federal law. Before you assume anything, you first have to know what the House actually approved. Not every House vote is a vote to pass a bill. Sometimes members are voting on an amendment, a procedural rule, a motion, a resolution, or the bill itself. Those are very different actions. For example, if the House passes a special rule, that usually means lawmakers have agreed on how they'll debate a bill. It does not mean they've passed the underlying legislation. Likewise, voting to adopt an amendment simply changes proposed legislative text. It isn't the same as approving the entire bill. That's why we always check the exact vote question before describing what happened. Next, you need to know what kind of measure the House approved. Most legislation begins as an HR bill or an S bill. Those are ordinary bills that can eventually become federal law. But Congress also considers several different kinds of resolutions. Some resolutions only affect one chamber. Others require both chambers. Some are presented to the president. Others never are. For example, a House resolution, or H.Race, applies only to the House and does not become statutory law. A concurrent resolution requires agreement from both chambers, but still isn't presented to the president and does not become statutory law. So simply hearing that the House passed something doesn't automatically tell you whether that measure could ever become federal law. Now let's assume we're talking about an ordinary bill. What happens next? In most cases, the Senate still has to act. The Senate can pass the bill exactly as written, amend it, reject it, send it to committee, or simply never vote on it. If the Senate never approves the bill, it usually never becomes law. If the Senate changes even part of the bill, the versions are not identical. And that's important because Congress generally has to approve the same final text before a bill can move forward. This is where many bills get delayed. Imagine the House passes a bill creating a federal home energy rebate. Then the Senate agrees with the idea but changes the rebate amount. Now both chambers have approved different versions of the legislation. Congress can't simply send both versions to the president. Instead, lawmakers must agree on one final version. That might happen because one chamber accepts the other's changes. Amendments go back and forth, or members negotiate through a conference committee. Only after both chambers approve the same legislative text has the bill cleared Congress. Not yet. Once identical text has passed both chambers, the legislation is prepared as what's called an enrolled bill. Think of this as the official final version. That enrolled bill is then formally presented to the president. At this point, the correct wording is, the measure has cleared Congress and awaits presidential action. Notice, it's still not law yet. Once the bill reaches the president, several things can happen. The president can sign it. The president can veto it. Under certain constitutional circumstances, a bill can even become law without the president's signature. And if a president vetoes a bill, Congress can still make it law by overriding that veto with a 2/3 vote in both chambers. That's why saying the president must sign every bill isn't quite accurate. There are multiple constitutional paths to enactment. Let's clear up a few myths. The House passed it, so Congress passed it. Not necessarily. Congress includes both the House and the Senate. One chamber's approval isn't usually enough. The House passed it, so it takes effect immediately. Usually not, even after enactment. Many laws don't take effect right away. Some require agency rulemaking. Others depend on funding or state participation. And here's another common misunderstanding. Committee approval isn't House passage. A committee can recommend legislation, but the full House still has to vote before you can accurately say the House passed the bill. The next time you see a headline saying the House passed a bill, don't stop reading there. Ask yourself, did the Senate act? Did both chambers approve the same text? Has it been presented to the president? Has it actually become law? Those questions tell you far more than the headline alone. Understanding those distinctions helps separate what Congress has done from what lawmakers are still trying to do, and that's exactly what Congress Uncovered is here to explain. When news organizations report that the House passed a bill, do you think they should also explain the steps that still remain? Let us know what you think in the comments. Share this video so more people understand what Congress is considering. And follow Congress Uncovered for clear, nonpartisan explanations of how Congress works and what it could mean for you.